I belong to you.
It is 5:30. And for those of you on time, I like to be respectful of everyone who's on time. We'll get the process started, and I'm sure some other people may dial in. Those people who do dial in a little bit late won't miss a whole lot because I'm going to introduce us all and kind of get things rolling. Got one more here. Welcome, Stephanie. You're not too late. All right. Well, my name is Chad Helmkamp. I am the president and owner of BWC Lending. I've been in the mortgage business going on 20 years now. And I'm very happy to have Chris Kayworth with us and Corey Turner. Chris Kayworth is going to be she's the star of the show. She's the one who understands the social media. I understand hardly any of it. Corey is new to my team. He just joined us here actually, they're both new to my team. They just joined me this last year. Chris is the one who took our very weak social media game and has turned it into something very impressive to me anyway, because almost anytime I go places, people are like, man, I see your social media everywhere. So I know she's doing something right. But I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening. Hopefully you will walk away with something today that's helpful and beneficial to all of you. Again, I've been in the mortgage business 20 years. Our goal and objective, of course, is to help you grow your businesses. As your businesses grow, so too will hopefully ours. We'd love it if you trust us with your buyers. That's what we're here for. Corey and I are the two loan officers on the team. Then we have Chris, who's one of my production partners, and we have two other production partners and a processor. And our goal is to make sure that your buyers have a very pleasant and wonderful experience as they go through the home buying process. Before I turn it over to Chris, I just want to talk very briefly about the market and what's going on. 2022 has been a very hectic start to the year, shall I say. Interest rates have gone up 9 out of the first 10 business days of the year. So it's been a very dramatic increase in a pretty short period of time. Typically, rates may change by an eighth here or there, but we've gone up about 0.5% in rate since the start of the year, which is sort of a shock to the system for a lot of folks. So buyers may be used to hearing about interest rates in the twos. It appears that most of the twos are behind us, and we're pretty much solidly in the threes, and in many cases, it's the mid to high threes. So I just wanted to share that with you as your buyers maybe have a little bit of sticker shock temporarily. Long term, the expectation is rates to trend towards 4%. How soon will we get there? Initially, it was thought we might get there by the end of the year. Now, some are saying that we could be there as early as the second quarter. Time will tell. The experts are wrong all the time. Hopefully they'll be wrong again. I'd love nothing more than to see rates turn around and go right back down. But of course, it's tough to say. With all the inflationary talk, I do kind of anticipate rates will continue to rise. So I just wanted to share that with you real quick. We would like this to be interactive. So if y'all have questions or concerns, please, feel free to let us know. We've got the message thing off to the right. So send me a message if you want to say something, and I'll unmute whomever. Chris, did we set them up to unmute themselves? Can they unmute themselves?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So good. So if you need to unmute yourself and you want to ask a question, just do that. Unmute yourselves, and we'll go from there. But with that, I want to turn it over to Chris. Like I said, Chris joined me in May of this year. We talked. I didn't really hire her to manage our social media. I just told her, hey, if our social media is not really that great, if you want to take it and run with it. And next thing I know, she just totally took it over. And so she's thoroughly impressed me. And I told her, I was like, hey, how do you feel about presenting to people? Because I think a lot of people in our business could learn a lot from what you're doing. So Chris, I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell us what you got.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Chad. I appreciate that. If you wouldn't mind making me host so I can share my screen, that would be great. Like you said, I would absolutely love this presentation to be super interactive. The PowerPoint slide itself is really just a visual guide, but I would love this to just be a discussion. So if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have tips or tricks of your own that you would like to share, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask away or give any advice, or feel free to put it in the chat for everybody. I know Corey over there will definitely be chatting it up in the chat box. So if you have any questions about using the chat box or you want to use emoji reactions, you are more than welcome to. Does anybody have any questions, or would anybody like to introduce themselves before we get started? No, we're a little shy. That's okay. All righty. Well, welcome again. Thank you so much for all of you being here. Can everybody see my screen? Yes? Awesome. There's 2 thumbs up. Thank you. All righty, cool. Well, welcome to Social Media Marketing Tips and Tricks on Building Your Brand in Social Media. So a couple key things that we're going to talk about. First is going to be introduction. I'm going to tell you who I am and what I'm doing here. We're going to talk about what a brand is, why should you use social media? That's pretty important. What social media platforms can you use and are available to you? How do you start on social media? And we're going to create something together today. Does that sound good to everybody? Do I see some thumbs up, some head nods? Yes, I do. We sound excited. All righty. Cool. Let's get it going. So one other thing I'd like to say before I introduce myself is I kind of made this presentation. It's tailored more towards beginners, but if you are an intermediate or an advanced social media creator, I would absolutely love to hear all of your questions. And if you have any advice to share with the group, please do. Does anybody actively use social media right now? Anyone? Yes? Yes. Do you use it for your business or just personal? Both, maybe. I know Corey does. Corey Mortgage over there. All righty. Well, I'll keep asking more questions, and hopefully we get a little less shy. Again, hello. My name is Chris Kayworth. I've been working with BWC Lending since May of 2021. I just graduated from the University of Houston in May of 2021 with a finance degree. I did my minors in management information systems, which is more like softwares that you use in business, things like Excel, stuff like that. And then I did a specialization in personal financial planning. So I did all the courses available to me to become a certified financial planner. So collegiately, my background is not in marketing, but it has always been a passion of mine. I've been on several different committees for volunteer organizations where I ran their graphic design committees, or I ran all of their social media. And it's just something I love doing. It's a great hobby, kind of like knitting, but a little more digital. And I absolutely love it. So when Chad gave me the opportunity to take over BWC's a little weak, not too bad social media, I was more than thrilled. So I hope that you guys get something out of today. And if you have some questions and you are still very shy, I will have my contact information at the end. So feel free to DM me or email me or call me, text me, whatever you need. All righty. Do you guys have any other questions? Any comments yet? We're still shy. It's no worries. All righty. So let's talk about what is a brand and what does that mean on social media. So your brand is going to be vital to you professionally. That is the way that you present yourself digitally. That's going to be your theme of colors. That's going to be your font. That's going to be the pictures that you post, the content that you post, and really the pillars that you structure yourself around on social media. So this is going to be basically your first impression in the digital world. And as we know, we are now in a digital age, and that's where everybody goes to meet everybody, right? So if you're not on social media, you should absolutely get on social media. We'll talk a little bit about why in a second. But so I'm obviously going to use BWC Lending as my example here. But so for our theme, our color theme, we base all of our colors off for our logo, and you can see them here on the presentation. That's going to be navy blue, yellow, white, and gray. Those are going to be our colors. We try to structure all of our posts around that, our pictures, everything. We have our own fonts that we use, things like that. And then for us, I have 3 pillars that I evolve all of our social media around, and basically our brand. That's going to be education. That is our biggest thing. We always want to make sure that all of our home buyers are educated on the process and they always know what's going on. And that doesn't just include our buyers, that includes our realtors as well. So many people have questions and so many things they don't understand, and education is a big part of our job. The next thing we always want to share is industry news, rate updates, New conforming loan limits that just came out. Woo, woo, it was a big change. I know everybody's excited. I see one smile. Thank you, Chad.
Hey, it's a big deal. I'm really happy about that.
So if you're not pumped about that or you haven't heard about that, go check out BWC Lending on Instagram or on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, whatever you want to look it up as. We have industry news out there. And the next thing is going to be fun. We love sharing pictures. If you haven't checked us out on social media, we do great TikTok dances, and Corey is our #1 dancer. He's got some crazy skills. So if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. So those are our 3 pillars that we do: is education, industry news, and fun. The other kind of things that we look at that's going to be specific to your brand is your target audience. We're going to talk a little bit more about later about what that means and how you can find that. And then next is going to be our mission and our vision, which we always try to review and we always stick to when it comes to your brand. Next is going to be our niche. So what we do is we are mortgage lenders, and we are lending especially in the Houston community, specifically Texas. And we stick to that niche. That's what we always try to do. We share industry news about Texas. We share rates that are specific to us here in Houston. So that's going to be us. So does anybody have any questions about what your brand is, or do you guys want to share anything? Anybody? No? Corey, do you want to share anything? Corey's brand's a little similar, but he's a little different too. So.
Yeah, Chris, let me take these out. Chad and I are sitting next to each other, so I'm muted, and I think my voice is coming through his feed. So hopefully you all
can y'all hear? Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay, good. What was your question again, Chris? I'm sorry.
What is your brand, Corey Mortgage?
Yeah, well, obviously I chose the name Corey Mortgage because we're in the mortgage business here. I try to follow a lot of the same colors and schemes that Chris uses on our BWC page. I try to do a lot of the same things that she's already putting out there as far as education, fun. We like to do a lot of fun pictures and videos, dances, things like that, and then industry news. So everything that she's already mentioned is, I'm essentially just trying to duplicate a lot of what we're doing on our BWC lending page. But for me, brand is important. Being consistent and having a clear message is important. So, Chris, I don't know, you kind of put me on the spot there.
I'm sorry, Corey.
No, all good. Yeah, I would say if you're not following BWC or Corey Mortgage, you should, because I think you'll see what our brand kind of encapsulates, and anyways, follow us.
All right. So the next thing I kind of want to talk about when it comes to brand is if you do already have a brand, or you kind of semi-established it, or you have established it, go ahead and do a brand audit. Look at everything that you're doing, compare it to your competitors. Is your content consistent with the pillars that you're posting towards? Is it consistent towards your niche and your to your niche, to your mission, to your vision? Look at all those things and check out your insights too to see if what you're actually posting is working. All right. Any other questions on brand? Anybody? Nothing? All right. Okay, let's talk about why should I use social media. Basically, the simplest answer is to drive business. We use social media to grow all our followers so that those followers convert into clients and they drive our business. So the first thing I want to talk about is how can you drive business on social media? Number one, it helps you build relationships, right? You're not just selling a house. You're not just financing a mortgage. If they're not choosing that, they're choosing you. They're choosing you as the realtor. They're choosing you as the mortgage loan officer, and that's what you're selling. So you have to build those relationships with your followers. And how do you do that? You have to engage. You have to look at their posts, like their posts, be on social media, and set up a presence. Yeah. Any questions? No? Okay, sweet. Number two, social media helps you increase brand awareness. And all that is setting a presence and making it look uniform, making it look like you, right? You want your followers, your prospects, whoever they are, when they go to meet you digitally, you want it to be 100% you, right? So when anybody goes to meet Corey on social media, they see him looking great in all of his TikToks, really having great dancing skills there. And that's how they meet Corey, right? It puts a smile on their face and it makes them trust him a little more. You hope. I mean, I don't know if you trust somebody with that good of dancing skills, but we'll see. Number 3 is going to be social media helps you drive, all of your prospects to where. That's the big question mark. And we'll talk more about call to actions and what you want your prospects to do. But for us, when we're posting, we're trying to drive business to either to Chad, who is our main loan officer. We want them to call him so he can talk to them about what their home buying goals are, all those kinds of things, or we're trying to drive them to our apply now page, right? The first step is always with that application so that we can help you achieve your goals. So that's for us. And that's honestly, if you want your prospects to go to your website, if you want to talk to them, you want them to DM you, you want them to go wherever, that's what social media does for you. Any questions on why we should use social media? No one?
Keep rolling. Let's
Moving
go. Let's
on.
get to it.
Alrighty, let's talk about social media platforms. What's out there? What can I use? And how do I start my brand, right? So honestly, you have the freedom to choose whatever platform you want to do. My only tip here is that there's a lot of platforms out there, and I would 100% suggest prioritizing your time on 1 or 2 of those platforms and putting your all into them. All right. So let's talk about a couple here. The first one I want to talk about is Facebook. It is extraordinary, right? It's like your Google page, your website, your Instagram all put together. You can see your office location or wherever you're located on a map. You can see your office hours, your description, your website, your mission, your vision. You can see all the content that you post. You've got events, videos. I mean, Facebook is just like everything combined into one. It's absolutely amazing. And one of the best features about Facebook that I love is Facebook Business Suite. I will say this, it does require that you have a Facebook business page. And if you're going to use Instagram with it, then your Instagram will also have to be a business page. But I use Facebook business page all the time. It helps me with my insights. That's where I schedule all my posts. It's incredibly amazing. So I'm going to show you a little more about it later. So if you have any questions about it, please let me know.
Hey, Chris, quick question.
Yeah.
Would you say the Facebook scheduling feature in the business page is probably the most instrumental thing we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk a lot about scheduling, but
okay.
100%, I think it really is. It's the number one feature.
So by a show of hands for those on the call, how many people use the Facebook scheduling page now? No?
2? Yay!
2?
Well,
we got 2?
Awesome.
We'll at least have somebody who doesn't. All right. Okay, perfect.
Okay, sweet. Well, we're going to look at it a little more later when we create a post, and we're going to post it right from Facebook Business Suite. Next thing I want to talk about is Twitter. It can be an effective market tool, but really, I think it's really only used to generate discussion. Post and content that's on Twitter has such a short life. It's like you put it out into the void of Twitter and you really got to generate a discussion from it. The character limit's really small. So think about that one if you choose that one as one of your platforms. Next one to talk about is Instagram. I obviously love Instagram. It's personally my favorite. It's predominantly a visual platform. It's all about videos and pictures, things like that. But I will say this, is that Instagram has one of the highest engagement rates out there out of all social media platforms. So that means all unique users that are on there are commenting, liking, sharing, saving, whatever, the most on Instagram. So for BWC, our top 2 platforms that we mostly focus on is going to be Facebook and Instagram. All right. So some other ones that I want to talk about is LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn, you should get a LinkedIn. Just bottom line, you should definitely get a LinkedIn.
Is that a shot at me? Is that a shot at me?
Hey, listen, Chad is a LinkedIn king, so he's really great at LinkedIn, and he's going to be
I
your
don't know
biggest
about all that.
salesman on LinkedIn. That's his favorite social media platform right there. But it's a great and valuable resource. I think LinkedIn it generates so much better discussion there. You can share anything professionally on there, and I love it. So if you're looking for a great profile to go look at with a killer about section, great posts, great content, go check out Chad's LinkedIn. It's Chad Helmkamp on LinkedIn. Next one I want to talk about is Pinterest. If you've never been on Pinterest, it's kind of an odd platform. You kind of think about it as like a personal wish list crossed with like a vision board, right? That's kind of Pinterest. It's a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, a lot of tips and tricks, things like that. And it's not more towards like sharing stuff, it's more towards saving things in lists and stuff like that. So Pinterest is often reported as one of the top sites that people go to research on buying decisions. I know for myself, I love Pinterest. Whenever I have to go on a date or I go on an event, boom, Pinterest is the first thing I go to look up what outfit I'm gonna wear, right? I don't go to Google or Instagram, it's Pinterest. So if you're looking to put a lot of stuff out there about home buying, that might be a great platform for you to utilize. Next one is going to be YouTube. It's the largest video sharing platform around. For sure, everybody has used YouTube, and it can be an excellent tool for marketing. As long as you know what you're doing and you know what you're putting out there, it's absolutely great. And one of the best things about today's digital age is that everybody wants to see you. And YouTube is all about you, obviously. And it can be really great to be able to make something for YouTube and repurpose it to a different platform. Next thing I want to talk about is TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, it's a lot of fun. It's a little addicting, honestly. The TikToks just keep rolling, and then 6 hours went by, you don't even know where it went. But TikTok is a short form video sharing platform, so you can share 15 to 60-second videos, and it's really easy to edit the videos. There's trending audio, dance challenges, all that kind of stuff. Does anybody have any questions about platforms? Does anybody have any platforms that they prioritize right now? Anyone? Yeah? Instagram, Facebook? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, next thing that I want to talk about is, honestly, where should I start, right? It's like maybe I do have some social media. It's not intended for my business. I don't have any social media. Where should I start right now? And let's get it rocking and rolling. So step number 1, pick your goals, right? I've listed 4 pillars here, kind of 4 buckets to look at when deciding your goals. First thing is going to be awareness. People need to be aware of who you are and what you do, right? If I look onto your Instagram and you're a realtor and I can't tell that you're a realtor, then you should reassess that bucket, right? Setting a presence is how you grow your followers. Posting things that are relevant to who you are and what you do is how you build your awareness on social media. Next thing is engagement. You want people to engage with you online, and then that way you start building trust and you start converting those prospects on social media to clients, right? They constantly know who you are. They constantly trust your advice, your content. And so when they think about buying a home, listing a home, whatever that is, they come to you and they think of you every time. Next thing is going to be conversion. What do you want people to do? So you posted a listing. Now what, right? Now what? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to go to your website? That's something that you'll have to figure out. So you'll really need to determine what your call to action is, whether that's going to click the link in bio, DMing you, emailing you, calling you, determine what that is. Last, consumer, right? Is what you're doing on social media providing your consumer value, right? Are you a trusted resource to them? And will they keep coming back and refer you to other people? That's really what you're looking for, is ask yourself, what can I post for my customers, for my clients, my followers, that's going to be beneficial to them? Does anybody have any questions on brand goals? Does anybody have any brand goals? Yes, cool.
I don't know if you I'm gonna try this again. You're gonna be hearing me through chat speed. As far as engagement, I don't know if you're gonna cover this. I know I've looked at this slide, but went through it pretty quickly. Engagement, how do you get your followers to engage with you on social media?
Yeah. So what we like to do is we post a lot of, polls. We do icebreakers in the morning. So, and most of these answers will be tailored towards Instagram. So on our stories, we do like this or that. Would you rather, 1 part kitchen sink, 2-part kitchen sink, things like that that are related to our niche that we provide to them. We also we DM people, we like all their stuff, and in turn, they start liking our stuff and commenting on our stuff and sharing it. And that's really how you start to engage, is you have to engage yourself in order for your followers to start to engage with you. Does that answer your question, Corey?
Yeah, Chris, I think you have also taught me about when I post on social media, the importance of sharing it on my story. And I don't know if you're going to cover this on a future slide, but maybe you could talk about why you should share a post on your story.
Yeah. So, I mean, nowadays with TikTok out there and everything, everybody wants it to just be kind of easy, right? And so when you go on your Instagram stories, you can click on a story and it'll just keep going. It'll just keep going to the stories and you literally don't have to touch your phone at all. So some people don't even scroll through their feed at all to see what people have posted. So if you're taking your post that you posted that day and you put it on your story, you could be reaching an entirely different audience than those that actually scroll through your feed. So you're just really expanding your reach farther than if you had just left your post there and not shared it again at all. Yeah. Does anybody else have any other questions? No? Okay, cool. All right.
And I'll add one thing to that, Chris. When you share it on your story and somebody responds to it, it goes into your DMs.
Yeah, yeah.
Which starts a private conversation, which is always great.
Then you really get one-on-one time with the person that has replied to your story. I know, I think last week, Corey posted something about, should you trust Credit Karma when you're looking to get a mortgage? And I got like 12 DMs about if Credit Karma is like the devil or something. And it was just all one-on-one interaction with those people looking for advice on Corey's post. So that's definitely a way to get your followers to engage with you. And it really creates a discussion, which is what you're looking for. Cool. All right, let's talk about picking your platform. So as I said, there are so many platforms out there, and we know that if you work full-time in real estate, you are a busy person. We all know that, and we 100% get that. So I, again, will say I definitely recommend picking 2 platforms, whichever those are. Those should really be based off of who your target audience is. So just because there are dozens of platforms out there, that doesn't mean that your target audience is on every single one of them. So you really don't have to build a platform on every single social media site out there, but you should create a platform on the ones that your prospects spend most of their time. So when we're looking at this, what is my target audience and really how do I look for it? So it's going to be determined by characteristics like age, gender, location, occupation, income, right? And that's all things that you want to look at when it comes to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, whatever that is. You'll want to look for that. And then based off of those characteristics, then you should pick your platforms. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody, I know Corey loves Instagram. Yeah, do you have a favorite platform?
Well, you're asking the wrong person. So, you know, social media is not my area of expertise.
I feel like your favorite platform is definitely LinkedIn. So.
Tanya asked what the attention span is of a follower before they swipe to the next IG story. I don't know if we have some statistics or anything.
That is a great question, and I am not 100% sure, but
I'll answer for myself. Like less than maybe half a second.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I can definitely look up some stats for you and I can send them to you. I think I was reading some stats earlier today. It doesn't necessarily pertain to Instagram stories, but it was saying that I think 97% of people who are on Instagram use Instagram, or like out of 100% of people, 97% of them use Instagram if they're signed up for it. And they spend around an average of 37 minutes a day just on Instagram, solely just scrolling and looking at stories, looking at posts, looking at reels, all that kind of stuff. So maybe that gives you a better indication. But I can look it up for you and I'll definitely email you after the workshop and let you know. Does anybody have any other questions?
I think if you've posted, also, hi, Chad.
Hey, Jenny.
I think if you are actively posting, I think the easiest way to check when people are kind of tapping out on your stories is to look at your insights on your tab. So if you're not utilizing your stories, you can't do that yet. So it's kind of a good way to get your feet wet and get out there. But I utilize my insights because it's really hard to make a generalization for each account because it's based on your followers. So if you haven't done a story, you're not utilizing stories, it's really important that you get out there and just get your feet wet, because then you'll be able to tell a lot of really good analytical data just by looking at what your followers do in your insights tab.
And it tells you if they swipe left, if they swiped up,
Exactly.
if they exit and everything. So thank you. That was great, Jenny. I appreciate that.
Sure.
All righty. Next, let's talk about determining what works for you, right? So I've listed here the 3 C's of social media: commitment, consistency, and content, right? If you can only post once a week, that's okay. That is completely fine. That's what works for you. But commit to that. Say, I'm going to post on social media once a week and do it consistently. That's what the Instagram algorithm is looking for. It's looking for consistency and frequency, right? So the more frequently that you post, the more Instagram will share your stuff. There's a couple other things that go into the Instagram algorithm, but we can talk more about that if you have any questions. Next would be, so you committed to once a week, I'm going to post on social media. Consistency, once a week, I'm going to post on social media at Mondays at 5 p.m. That's when I'm going to do it, or whatever time works best for me. Next is content, right? You want your content to be related to your brand. It needs to be relevant to your niche and what you're doing on your platform. So I highly, and we'll get more into this, but I highly recommend creating a content calendar. That just visually gives me an idea of what I'm going to do this month, when I'm going to do it, and where I'm going to put all my content. It also helps me stay organized and on track when creating my content as well. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody post consistently? Or how many times does everybody post? Yeah, you do? Okay, cool. All righty. Well, let's keep it moving. All right. So the last thing that I want to touch on is monitor your social media. Like Jenny said, your insights are key, right? You want to know if what you're doing on social media is working. Is the content that I'm putting all my time, all my effort, all my money into, does it work? Like, is it actually reaching people? So looking at your insights on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, wherever you're posting stuff is amazing. And that's why I love Instagram and Facebook, is because they give such detailed insights into who's looking at your stuff, how long are they looking at it, did they like it, did they comment, all those kinds of things. And it really tells you what content works. Yeah, so any questions about that? Do you guys review your insights regularly or look at your analytics?
Where is that you would look at to monitor your social media?
Yeah. So if you're on Instagram and you're on your profile, so this is our BWC profile right here, and at the bottom there where all those buttons are, it should say insights, and you can just click it and it pulls up everything on there. And you should also be able to click at the top right, there's 3 lines, And then that should also pop up a category, and it should say insights there. It's got little bars and stuff like that you can click. Now that does not pop up if you don't have a business profile on Instagram. So if you are looking at converting, I highly recommend it. If you convert your Instagram profile to a business profile, you do have the ability to use the Facebook Business Suite, and then you can then schedule all your posts ahead of time. And it also gives you access to the insights and things like that. So if you are using your social media platforms for business, I highly recommend converting them to a business platform. There are some pros and cons, so if you'd like to discuss more about that, I'd be more than happy to. Alrighty. So let's recap. That was a lot. There's a lot of questions. So first, step one, choose what goals you're optimizing for, and think about those 4 categories: awareness, engagement, conversion, and your consumer. Step two, choose the platforms that are best for you. I highly recommend having about 2 and focusing all your energy on those. Step number 3, determine what works for you, commit to it, do it consistently, and post content that's relevant to your brand and your niche. And then step number 4, monitor your social media. Look at those insights, make sure that what you're doing and you're spending your time on is working and is reaching unique users and helping you drive your business. Alrighty, let's get into the meat of this discussion, which is really content creation. So first and foremost, like I said before, a content calendar. This is mine. I'm sure there's like way others out there that are super fancy. I like to keep it simple, and I just have a monthly calendar in Excel. And for me, what my process looks like is at the end of this month, the last week of January, I create and schedule all of my content for all of February. So like you can see here, this is just like a visual guide and sort of my map that helps keep me organized when I make content and schedule it. So it helps me make everything that you see on all of our social media. And then it helps me keep it organized when I schedule it on the Facebook Business Suite. Does anybody utilize a content calendar right now? Yeah, cool. Does it help you, Jenny?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I could not live without it. I mean, I live and breathe it, but I'm the same as you. I don't have anything fancy. I just utilize an Excel spreadsheet. There are tons of engines that help you do it, but they really are pricey. And I find this is the easiest thing to just jump in and edit. So yeah, I live by mine.
Okay, cool. Me too.
Chris, I've got 2 things. Number 1, are we really tweeting?
No,
right?
it's just the title, Chad. I do tweet sometimes, but it's not our main platform. So I
was just curious. I was like, I didn't realize we were doing that. Okay. But Carrie has a question. She said, should an individual realtor make their Instagram profile a business profile?
Yeah, and Corey could probably talk about this a bit more, but I highly, highly, highly recommend making a business profile. It gives you the opportunity to schedule all your posts through Facebook Business Suite, and 2, it also lets you see your insights, which are key when you're posting on social media for business. I know when Corey first started working here, he had a big kind of debate with himself on whether he should make a new profile that is just specific, it's just my business profile, and then he has a separate profile that's personal, or should he convert his personal profile into his business profile. So I'm sure he can talk with you about some of the pros and cons that went through his mind when making this decision.
Yeah, I think primarily I wanted to be able to schedule posts through the Facebook Business Suite. That was the main driver for me, turning my personal Instagram profile into a business. So
you did convert your personal to business?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think another one of the pros was that because Corey already had a personal Instagram, he already had followers on that account, right? He wasn't starting from scratch, starting from a completely blank profile that had 0 followers. I think he already had like almost 400 followers. So that's 400, prospective followers that can turn into promoters that'll share his content, or those are, 400 prospects that could turn into clients and help drive his business. So I think that was one of the main things that convinced him to instead of making a new account, starting from scratch. It's just to use his personal profile and turn it into a business profile. Great question, Carrie. Thanks for asking.
That's exactly another one of the reasons I wanted to convert my personal to a business, because I already had the followers.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, cool. Alrighty, so let's talk about content creation itself. I think there's really like two routes to go and kind of like an in between. So first thing I want to talk about is buying content, right? There is so much content that's already out there that you can purchase, that's already made for you. And one of the best places that I like to shop is Etsy. I'm going to share all of this with you, but there's a link here and it takes you right to all these templates. They have buyer and seller tips. They have funny things that you can post, you know, and basically what I love about it is that they're not just like pictures that you can't edit. These are templates that have been created in a software called Canva, which we'll get to next. And all you do is you purchase them. They're super inexpensive. You could get 50 posts for maybe $5 or less. And all you do is copy those templates to your Canva, and then you can edit them specific to your brand. You can add your picture, your colors, your font, everything like that. And all of the content is already made for you. All you have to do is make it to your liking and post it. You really don't have to do too much else. I'm sure Corey could talk a little more about it. I know he purchased his post from Etsy. What do you think, Corey?
Yes, I like it. I love it. It makes it a lot easier for you.
How many, anybody on the call currently buying stuff from Etsy or anything like that?
Or buying any kind of content?
No.
No. Well, it's definitely something to look into. It could save you a lot of time. So I'll definitely send this to you, and it has the link there that you can go look at everything on there. And it's got thousands of templates that you could possibly purchase. So the other side to that I like to talk about is creating content yourself. And I use Canva for everything. I use it to edit my photos, make my graphics, and you can even, if you have Canva Pro, you can schedule all your content out of Canva itself. And that doesn't just apply to Facebook or Instagram. You can do LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever that looks like. You can schedule it all through Canva. And they have thousands of templates that you could look up, and they already have made for you. And all you have to do is make it to your liking. So obviously I'm a big proponent of Canva, so definitely get it. They have a free version. It's very useful. So I've listed a couple other, softwares and things here that you can use. If you don't want to use Canva, there's a Pixie-Lite. That's a good alternative to Canva. Stock photos, I normally use Unsplash and Pexels. Pexels also has videos on there that you can use if you wanted to put something in there, a slow-mo of a really gorgeous modern house, anything like that. They have tons of great free stuff that you can download. Photo editing, you can use Lightroom. I have an iPhone, so I personally just use the Photos app on my phone, and you just click the little like magic wand thing and it auto edits all your photos for you, so they look a little better. Canva also just came out with some photo editing stuff, and they have autofocus and all different kinds of stuff that you can do on Canva. For video editing, you can do Adobe. I personally use iMovie. I love that if I take a video on my phone, I can just airdrop the video from my phone to my iMac and then just, drag it into iMovie and edit it from there. So those are some great platforms to use, and they're all basically free. So the only thing that you really have to pay for is Canva Pro, and I think it's $13 a month. But Canva for free works really well too. Does anybody have any questions about creating content yourself, or does anybody use any of these platforms that are listed here? Yeah, Jenny, do you which ones do you use on here?
Chad. I love Canva. So I live by Canva. I probably have, just like you, I probably have 300 designs in there that I just utilize, and they're all brand specific. And then I also utilize a program called Snapseed. It's a photo editing app, and it's really close to Photoshop, which is what we use, of course, here on our graphic design stuff. So Snapseed is awesome. It's free. It doesn't limit you. And then it also will size for you, just like Canva does, according to what channel you're going to be on. The other one that I get asked about a lot is how do I logo my photos for free? So I put one in the chat. It's called Easy Watermark. It's literally the letters EZY watermark. And it allows you to save, it has to be a PNG image, guys. You can't save a JPEG, but if you save a PNG image to your camera roll, it will allow you to overlay your logo over any photo so that you can keep with that consistent branding. That's one I see a lot of realtors asking about.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And I know you can also, I think you can, they have like brand, if you pay for Canva Pro, they have like branded settings in there too, that you can just upload your logo and you just drag and drop the logo onto whatever you're looking for too. All right. Thanks, Jenny. I appreciate you sharing. All right. So what kind of content should I post, right? And if you're a realtor, I put a bunch of ideas here. The nice thing is, and the reason why social media is such a gold mine for real estate agents is that real estate is a highly visual industry. It's all about who the realtor is and what houses do they have, honestly. And that's amazing. You have so many things to post. And if it's just listings or it's just houses that you've sold, then I mean, go for it, right? Those are great posts. So I've just listed a couple here that you can do: new listings and properties, success stories and testimonials, milestones, home buyer tips, events that you're having, open houses, happy hours, whatever that is, quotes and motivations, industry news, fun facts. You and your team, you and your family, that's what that brand is. It's all about you. And that's what people want to see on social media is pictures of you. So don't forget to post those. Does anybody have any questions about this or any other content suggestions? No? Okay. All right. So scheduling your content. So after you've created graphics, you've picked out your photos, you created your video, whatever that is, it's time to schedule for posts, right? So you're gonna have to use, make a captivating caption. You really want people to read what you have to say, right? And the next thing is to utilize hashtags. You can utilize hashtags across all platforms that I've mentioned earlier. And I really think that using hashtags will create greater visibility for whatever content you're posting. They help your followers reach other people that they're looking for, and it helps unique users reach your platform. If you want to know more about hashtags, we can always talk about that a bit more, but I highly recommend using them. Each platform has a different hashtag limit, so we can talk about that too. I think for Instagram, it's 30 hashtags. You can use up to 30 hashtags, and everybody has different opinion on how many you should use. I typically use about 25 to 27, just because I want our reach to be the greatest that it can be. Down here, I listed a couple, scheduling apps that you can use. I utilize Facebook Business Suite. It's free and really easy to use. You can use Buffer, Hootsuite, or Later. All right. So let's recap a little. I know we're running a little short on time, so I'm going to try not to go super duper fast. But if you have any questions and I am going too fast, please let me know. So let's recap content creation. Create your content calendar. That's going to keep you organized. It's going to give you a visual idea of what you're looking for and what you're going to do. Next thing, create your content, whether that's designing it or buying it. Have it, make it, run those ideas through the brainstorm that's up there and make them. Next thing, you've made your content, you know when you're going to post it, so now you need to schedule it or post it on that day, creating captivating captions and using hashtags. All right, so last thing, we're going to make a post together. Does that sound good to everybody? Yes?
Do it.
Okay, sweet. All right, so today I want to make a post. It's going to be tailored towards Instagram. So this is Canva right here. So Instagram post. Just go here. You might want to try Instagram post, create a blank one. And what I figured we could do today was create a motivational post with a quote, but having some courage to put yourself out there. All right. Sorry, my internet is being a little slow today. So here's our Instagram post. It's already sized for the Optimal platform for a post on Instagram. So we're going to add some text here. And let me put in my quote.
Make it good.
Alrighty. The ones who fall and get up is stronger than the one who never tried. Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying. Right? Put yourself out there. Give it a try. Social media can work for you and work for everybody out there. All right. So we have our text here. Let's select a font. All right. Make it a little bigger so everybody can read it. Center it. All right. And then one of the best features that I love about Canva is that you can just duplicate something with the click of a button, right? So we'll just click here. We got to put our author of the quote, which is going to be Roy Bennett. And just give it a little more aesthetic, I'm going to change it to a different font. Make it a little bigger. All right, and then what I'm going to do is make this, it looks good, but it could look a little better, right? We want to make it specific to our brand. So what I'm going to do is use brand colors. The nice thing about Canva that I love is that they have branding settings. So all of our brand colors are already here. All right, let's change this here. And then I'm going to make it a little better. Something that Instagram loves to see is a carousel post. Carousel post will be where you slide to different pictures, different slides on one post altogether. So I'm going to duplicate this page, maybe change the background, change our color. And maybe do this one more time. Changing the color of the background, changing the color of the text, and voila, we have an Instagram post. So now what I'm going to do is download this content. And the nice thing is that Canva gives you so many options to download. I'm going to download it as a PNG, and I'm going to download all 3 pages. Already, and you can see down here that it's downloading to my computer. Next thing I'm going to do is open up Facebook. So here you can see the BWC page right on our right side, or left side, sorry. And then for me, Business Suite pops up right here. It says Manage Page, and then right there is the Planner feature. So this is what my planner looks like. You can look at it in different views. So these are all the things I have scheduled, that I have posted. Yeah. So give me 1 second.
So glad I hired you right now.
Is it feeling a little overwhelming, Chad?
Oh my God. I never would have figured out any of this.
Okay, so we're going to go to the day that we want to post, which is today. Click create and create post. The nice thing about Facebook Business Suite is that you can post on both your Facebook and your Instagram at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and add my photos in here. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to add my captivating caption that includes all of my hashtags. So you can see here that I've put some text in there. I've put our slogan in there. Just put some stuff in there that would be interesting. And then I put in all of the hashtags that I want to put in there. Another thing that I recommend is putting your location in too. That way you can really kind of hone in on those people that are in your target audience. All right. Does it look good to everybody? Does everybody think that it looks good? We're feeling good about it? Yeah, okay. And then we click publish, and it's as easy as that. So it'll publish to our account and you'll see it on there right now in real time. So here it is. It's published to Facebook and it's published to Instagram. So you can always, if you want to check, this is going to be our Instagram profile. And there it is. Does anybody have any questions? Did I go too fast? It does take a lot of practice. Yeah, but this is a pretty easy one to do. All right. So if you have any questions, if you would be interested in a platform specific workshop, please let us know. I would be super excited to give you an Instagram specific workshop about all the quirks of Instagram, all the features that are offered to you, or creating TikToks. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about creating TikToks. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, to unmute yourself. If not, this is all of my contact information. I'm going to send this to all of you as well. But if you would be super duper awesome, this is a QR code that you can scan with your phone, and it's going to take you to the survey for this workshop. And we would absolutely love to hear your honest feedback. Right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you all being here, and I hope that you got something out of this workshop. Does anybody have any comments or questions, or if you want to share anything?
Chris, for those not using the Facebook Business Suite, I know you just posted real time, but you can schedule those posts as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, I know that because I do that, but just wanted to point that out for anyone who's looking to schedule content for a week or maybe a month. I don't know what your suggestion is there, but what I like to do is spend an hour each week where I'll put my posts together and then I'll schedule them using the Facebook Business Suite.
Yeah. So I always do mine by month. The last week of this month, I'll schedule all of my content for next month. Facebook Business Suite does have its pros and cons, right? So you can't schedule reels or things like that on there. And so what I do is I just, I post them when I wake up in the mornings, and I do it bi-weekly, Monday, Friday, and then the next week is Wednesday, and then Monday, Friday. And that's just kind of like a habit that I have. And really what we do for reels is we record TikToks on the TikTok app. And then what I'll do is there's a little bit of a workaround, but you can take those TikToks and repurpose them for your Instagram, which is what we do very often. Does anybody else have any comments or questions or anything they'd like to share?
I'll just say as I have been since you joined us, I'm thoroughly impressed and very much want to thank you for taking the time to put this together. It's all way over my head. The ship has sailed for me, I think, on the social media world, but I look at it and I enjoy it and I like to participate in it, but at this level, it's definitely very impressive. But I just know in the real estate world, I just know how important it is, and we obviously follow it. And the commenting, engaging with your people. We tease about LinkedIn, and I'll just say this: for those of you who don't make it a habit of every time you meet somebody, friending them, connecting with them on LinkedIn, sending them personal messages. If there is one thing I do, it's that anytime I have a prospective client call or a new referral partner or whomever it is, I connect with them on LinkedIn at the very least, right? At the very least, I do that because it's an opportunity to. But thank you, Chris, for all of this content. It is a lot, and I know we could talk about social media forever. For everybody on this call, thank you for taking the time to join us this evening. And if you do have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to Chris or any one of us. Corey and I are here for you. If you have any clients that need help buying a house, we'd love to work with you.
Yeah. And if you guys are ever interested in us coming to your offices to meet all of your partners and coworkers and things like that, and you want to talk more about social media, maybe have us look at your social media and give you some recommendations, we would be more than happy to come and visit you all. So yeah, again, feel free to scan the QR code, take a picture of all all my contact information. Feel free to call me, text me, email me. Probably tomorrow sometime, I'm going to send you all this presentation. I also have a bit of a guide for realtors on social media. It has all kinds of suggestions about equipment and softwares and everything like that. So I'll send that to you as well. And I'll also send you Corey and Chad's contact information too. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much again. We appreciate your time and we look forward to working with all of you in the future. Bye, y'all.
60 minutes on the nose. Have a great night, everybody.
I belong to you. I belong to you.